Hello everyone and welcome to the new session of the lecture series. And today in this lecture we'll be revising the topic the living world. Alright, so I would like to mention that this lecture is completely NCERT based, means all the topics are from the NCERT book. So let's start with the first term, biodiversity. So how can biodiversity be defined? Biodiversity is the number and type of organism present on the earth, or you can say biodiversity is the variety of life form present on earth. Okay, again, how can biodiversity be defined? It is the variety within, okay, and between all the species of plant, animal and microorganisms and the ecosystem which they live and interact. Okay, now let's move to the next term, which is identification. Alright, so whenever we have to name a certain living organism, the first requirement is the identification of the organism. What does identification comprise of? Identification involves recognizing the fundamental characteristic of an organism. Okay, and identification is very important, alright, for the nomenclature or the naming of the organism. Okay, so nomenclature or naming is only possible when the organism is described correctly and we know to what organism the name is attached to. Alright, now next is the term biological nomenclature, or you can also say binomial nomenclature. So this term was introduced by Carolus Linnaeus. Alright, so according to Carolus Linnaeus, each name should have two components. Okay, first is the generic name, alright, and second is the specific epithet. So generic name tells you about the genus of the organism, whereas specific epithet tells you about the species of the living organism. For example, if we take the example of mango, scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica. So here Mangifera is the generic epithet, alright, and it denotes the genus, whereas indica is the specific epithet and it tells you about the species. Alright, now what is the need of nomenclature? Alright, a particular organism should be known by a same name all over the world. Alright, so we have different name for different organisms. We have different local names. Alright, even if we talk about within a country, a name of the organism differs from one state to another. Alright, so we have lot of local names which vary from place to place even within the country. So a particular organism should be known by the same name all over the world. Okay, so there is a need to standardize the naming of living organism. Alright, so that there should be no confusion between the names. Now, some rules has been set for naming of the organism. Okay, so let's talk about the universal rules of nomenclature. So biological names, alright, or you can also say scientific names, are generally written in Latin, alright, and they are italicized. Okay, first they are written in Latin and they are also italicized. Okay, so biological names, they are Latinized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. Okay, so irrespective of their origin, alright, they are always written in Latin. Okay, now the first word in the biological name, okay, represents the genus. This we have already discussed, while the second component denotes the specific epithet. Okay, we took the example of Mangifera indica. Mangifera is the generic or the genus name and the indica is the specific epithet. Okay, now next point is both the words in a biological name, okay, when handwritten are separately underlined, or if they are printed, then it should be italicized. written in italics. Why? To indicate their Latin origin. Alright, so we were talking about Mangifera indica again, which is mango. So Mangifera indica, which is mango, biological name of or scientific name of mango. If it is handwritten, then it should be underlined separately like this. Okay. And if it is printed, it should be italicized. Alright. Now, the first word denoting the genus should always start with the capital letter. Okay. Again, let's take another example, Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens are the biological or scientific name of man or human. Okay. So again, Homo is the generic name, sapiens is the specific epithet. Here you can see the genus name starts with the capital letter. Okay, H is capital here, whereas the specific epithet starts with a small letter. Okay, S is small here. Alright. Now, coming to the next point, name of the author, okay, appears after the specific epithet. That is at the end of the biological name and is written as an abbreviated form. For example, Mangifera indica. So again, you can see here there is no need to underline because it is italicized. Okay. And then Lin. Lin is the author name. Okay. Carolus Linnaeus. This is the author name. So Linnaeus first described this species mango. Alright. So its name is written after the specific epithet. This is specific epithet. Alright. So author name come after the specific epithet. And that too in abbreviated form. Now, what are the need for the scientific name? Again, scientific names ensure that each organism has only one name. Alright. And it is also ensured that such a name has not been used for any other known organism. Alright. There should be only one name. Now, let's talk about the international codes. So, international codes, they provide guidelines and regulation to assign the specific scientific name. Alright. For plants, international code for botanical nomenclature is there. Alright. And then for animals, we have international code of zoological nomenclature. Okay. You have to remember this ICBN and ICZN. Okay. Now, let's talk about the classification. Another term is classification, which is simply ordering of organism into groups. Alright, based on what? Based on some easily observable characteristic. Alright, so what is classification? It is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories. Okay, based on easily observable characteristic. This is known as classification. Now, what is the need of classification? It makes the study of living organism comparatively easy. Okay, because now we have ordered the organism into various groups. So, study of the living organism becomes easy. Alright, because everything is now streamlined. Okay, it is organized. It has been ordered. Okay, ordering has been done of the living organism into categories. Next point is it facilitates the specific identification of any given organism. Alright. So classification, what it does, it facilitates or it helps in the specific identification of any given organism. Why? Because it has been characterized. Okay. Next point is it helps in the study of the new representative specimen. Okay, so there is no need to study the entire taxa. We can only study the representative specimen from each discrete group. Alright. And this will give you the idea of the life as the whole. Okay. So we need not study the entire study the entire group. Okay, there is no need to study the entire group. We can only study the representative specimen, and that will give you idea of the entire group. Okay. Now, next point is it gives general idea about the geographical distribution, where it is located of plants or animals or whatever. Okay. And then next point is it reveals the interrelationship among the various group of organism. Okay. So when we classify all the living organism, we can then find out the relationship between different or various group of organism. Okay. And last point is it indicates the evolutionary relationship in different groups of organism. Okay. Or you can say what kind of relationship? Evolutionary relationship. Okay. So it helps to, or it indicates the evolutionary relationship in different group of organism. All right. Or you can say how they are related to each other. Okay. What is the relation between different groups of organism? Now let's talk about the term taxonomy. So taxonomy, the term was given by D. Kendall. Okay. And then what does taxonomy include? It includes characterization, identification, nomenclature, and classification. All right. So this is the modern taxonomy. So modern taxonomy includes all these. Okay. Now, what is the objectives of taxonomy? The first objective is the studying of all the living species, microbes, plants, and animals. All right. Second is the compilation of the collected information. Third is the demonstration of biodiversity. So what does this mean? Demonstration of biodiversity means the evidence and the documentation of the wide variety of life forms present on the earth. All right. Biodiversity, you know, it is the variety of life forms. So demonstration means we have some evidence or we have documented it. Okay, we have some documents to show the wide variety of life forms on the earth and its relation to our understanding of the evolution. Okay, so this is the objective of taxonomy. Okay, first, it has two parts. First is the evidence, you can say evidence of biodiversity. And then how biodiversity can help us to understand the process of evolution. Okay. So now you know there is a lot of biodiversity, means there are numerous species which are adapted to their specific environment. Okay. There are numerous species means species are not fixed. Okay. Or you can say the organisms of a species are not fixed but are continuously evolving, and how they are evolving? By the accumulation of variation. Okay. So there is a lot of biodiversity means evolution is going on, okay, due to accumulation of variation. So this is how biodiversity helps us to understand the process of evolution. Now, next term is systematics. So what is systematics? The term was coined by Carolus Linnaeus, who was a Swedish botanist. And the word systematics is derived from the Latin word systema, which means systemic arrangement of organisms. All right. Now, American biologist, okay, George Gaylord Simpson, he defined systematics as study of kind and diversity of life on Earth. All right. But later, what happened? Systematic now include, okay, or you can say modern systematic includes identification, nomenclature, and classification, okay, which is what? Taxonomy. All right. This is taxonomy, identification, nomenclature, and classification. This is all included in taxonomy. In addition to this, okay, systematic also includes evolutionary relationship between the organism. So you can say, what is systematics? Systematics is simply, you can say, taxonomy, all right, plus the evolutionary relationship, which is known as phylogeny. All right, so this is the systematics. Now next term is taxon. Okay, taxon is singular, plural of taxon is taxa. Okay, so how taxon can be defined? A taxon refers to a group or category into which organisms are classified based on shared characteristic and evolutionary relationship. This is known as a taxon. Okay, so you have to just remember, taxon is first, it is a group or it is a category, okay, which is based on shared characteristic, okay, shared characteristic and evolutionary relationship. Now each taxa indicate categories at various hierarchical levels. Okay, means there is a ranking system, okay, ranking system, or there are different levels. Okay, now taxonomic categories. Next term is taxonomic categories, also known as taxonomic ranks, also known as unit of classification. Okay, so what is the definition of taxonomic categories? Taxonomic categories are groups of organisms that are systemically classified and organized into hierarchical levels. Okay, based on what? Based on shared characteristic and evolutionary relationship. All right, so this is known as taxonomic group. Now these taxonomic group or categories are distinct biological entities and not merely morphological aggregate. What does this mean? This means that taxonomic groups or categories are distinct biological entity. Biological entity means they have their own genetic and behavior characteristic. All right, and they are not merely morphological aggregates. Means a group, a taxonomic group is not only based on morphological similarities, you can say, not only based on morphological similarities, but it also includes the genetic characteristic also. Okay, genetic characters. All right, suppose you can take the example of flowering plant and non-flowering plant. Okay, one is flowering plant, okay, another is non-flowering. Okay, so now both of these, flowering and non-flowering, okay, these plants look similar, but they have different genetic makeup. All right, so understood that our taxonomic group is not merely morphological aggregate. It also, okay, include the genetic characters also, okay, which makes them separate biological entities. All right, now again another example is that of insect. Okay, so insects, okay, if we talk about insects, now these insects, example is ant and beetle. All right, so ant and beetle both have 3 pair of jointed legs. Okay, first pair, second pair and third pair. Again beetle, first pair, second pair and third pair. Okay, there are 3 pair of jointed legs. Okay, and the insects which have 3 pair of jointed legs are included under insects. All right, so you can say that this insect, suppose it has been given one rank. Suppose it has been given class insects, okay, which include all the insects with 3 pair of jointed legs. All right, means it has been given a rank. A rank has been given, okay, or you can say unit of classification, okay, or a level. A level has been set, okay. So that's why you also say taxonomic categories as ranks, okay, because a ranking system is there now. It has been given a name of the class. Okay, it means insects are recognizable concrete objects which can be classified and thus were given a rank or category. Okay, so now you understood why taxonomic categories are also known as taxonomic ranks. Okay, now let's talk about another term, taxonomic hierarchy. Okay, so taxonomic hierarchy is nothing but stepwise arrangement of living organism into groups where each level or rank represents a specific degree of relatedness and shared characteristic. So you have to remember the stepwise arrangement first. It is a stepwise arrangement, okay, of living organisms into groups, and okay, and where each level or rank represents a specific degree of relatedness and shared characteristic. Okay. Now, taxonomic hierarchy again. So this is the diagram showing the taxonomic hierarchy. Okay. So taxonomic categories. So these are broad taxonomic categories. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species are. These are the taxonomic categories which are stepwise arranged. Okay. Here they are arranged in ascending order from lower to higher. Okay. Species is the lowest or the lowermost taxonomic category, whereas kingdom is the higher or the highest taxonomic categories. And all these categories, okay, from species to phylum, all these categories, when stepwise arranged, is known as taxonomic hierarchy. All right. Now, another thing here to remember is that as we go higher from species to kingdom, the number of common characteristics goes on decreasing. This you have to remember. Now, kingdom, you can say it is a very broad group. Okay, it is very diverse. So, if we take the example of kingdom Animalia includes all the animals. All right, and the number of the common characteristics are not much. Okay, they are very diverse. Or you can say as we move higher, okay, from species to the kingdom, the categories become general. Or you can also say they do not share many common characteristics. Common characters you can write. Okay. At species level, if we talk about species level, this is very specific. And the organism in the species share lot of similar characters. Okay. So lower the taxa, more are the characteristics that the members within the taxon share. Okay. So again, species, if you take the example of, suppose say lion, which is what? Panthera leo. Okay. So all these, okay, lions which belong to one species, they share lot of common characters, and it is very easy to determine the evolution relationship. As we go up higher, suppose we go to the kingdom level. So if we talk about the kingdom Animalia, it includes so many animals, okay, all the animals. Okay, so here this category becomes very broad. All right. Now let's talk about the each taxonomic categories. So lowermost is the species. It is the lowest category. Okay. And it is the group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities. Alright, so what is species? Species is the group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities. And you can also write that they interbreed or they breed among themselves or between themselves and are reproductively isolated from other groups. Okay. Now, one species can be distinguished from the other closely related species based on their distinct morphological differences. Alright. And they will be reproductively isolated also. Okay. One species is reproductively isolated. Isolated from others. From other species or from other such groups. From other such groups. Alright. Now, let us consider the example of Mangifera indica, Solanum tuberosum and Panthera leo. Here, the indica, tuberosum and leo represent the specific epithet, whereas the Mangifera, Solanum and Panthera are the generic name. Alright, which is the higher level taxon or the category. Okay, again let's talk about the genus. So each genus may have one or more than one specific epithet representing different organisms but having morphological similarities. Okay, so this is an example. Panthera, which is a genus, okay, can have lot of species. Okay, again Solanum in case of plants can have Nigrum as species or Melongena. So if we talk about Panthera leo, this is lion. Panthera pardus, this is leopard. Okay, you can say genus is same, but the species can be different. This is tiger. Solanum nigrum is potato. Solanum melongena is brinjal. Okay, so here you can see genus can be one, but species are different. Now, what is genus? So genus comprises of group of related species. Alright, which has more characteristics common in comparison to species of other genera. Again, for example, potato and brinjal are from two different species but belong to the genus Solanum. Okay, this we have already seen. Another example is Leo. Okay, lion. Okay, which is Panthera leo. Leopard, Panthera pardus, and tiger, Panthera tigris. They have several common features. Okay. And all are the species of the genus Panthera. Okay. Now, next category is higher category to genus is family. Okay. The family is a group of related genus or related genera. Okay. And this you have to remember that families are characterized on the basis of vegetative and reproductive features of the plant species. Alright. So now this is the example of the family. So this is the family Solanaceae. So family consists of what? Related genus. So Petunia, Datura and Solanum. These are the genus. Okay, all three are genus. So these genus are related to each other and they belong to the family Solanaceae. Similarly, if we talk about animals, Felidae. Okay, this is also the family. Okay, and what does it include? This includes the genus Panthera and Felis. So Panthera, all the big cats are present like lions, tigers. Felis includes the domestic cat. Okay, so here you can see they are related to each other. Okay, that's why they belong to the family Felidae. Now, next category is the order. Alright, so order being the higher category is the assemblage of families. Alright, which exhibit a few similar characteristics. Now you can see here we are writing few similar characteristics. Okay, because we have already discussed as we go up higher. Okay, As we move from the lower to higher taxon, the similarity decreases as the higher taxons are very diverse. Alright. Now again, this is example. This is the order polynomials. Alright. So this order includes families Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae and Solanaceae. And again, if you talk about animals, this is the order Carnivora. So this order includes what? Family Felidae and Canidae. So Felidae includes cats, Canidae includes dogs. Alright. Now you can again see these both share some of the characters. Okay. They only share some similar characters. Otherwise they are quite different. Okay. So now as we are moving higher up, okay, order, this is the order, the number of similar characteristics are decreasing. The higher category to order is class. Okay. So we have class Mammalia. So this class includes Primata and Carnivora. Primata includes monkey, gorilla and gibbon, whereas Carnivora includes tiger, cat and dogs. The next is the higher categories phylum. In case of animals we call phylum. In case of plants we call division. Now what does phylum include? It includes one or more related classes. Okay, if we talk about phylum, then we have to say related classes of animals. Okay, if we talk about division, then we can say related class of plants. Okay, for example, phylum Chordata consists of classes comprising animals like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds and also mammals. Okay, so see the diversity here, how broad this group is, and the number of common characters are not much. Okay, they don't share many common characters, but still they are kept in the same phylum. Alright. All these, so we were talking about phylum Chordata. So all the classes under phylum Chordata are based on one common feature. Okay, some common features such as the presence of notochord and dorsal-hollow neural system. Okay, so all the organisms which have these features are included in the phylum Chordata. The next is the kingdom. Okay, kingdom is the highest taxonomic category. So all animals belonging to various phyla or division are assigned to the highest category called kingdom. Now there are two types of kingdom. Okay, first is kingdom Plantae, which comprises all plants. Alright, and we have kingdom Animalia, which is the classification system for animals, or you can say it comprises all the animals. Okay, now these are the references. Okay, you can refer to this book by Grimaldi, The Complete Insect. Alright, and rest of the material is from the biology textbook for class 11th, published by NCERT. So this was the end of this lecture. Thank you very much for listening.